he's humble.
I'm so grateful that you became our coach, Tony, and my parents were incredible folks, but I don't know, anybody had the impact this guy did. Hall of Fame football coach, but even a better person.
He's lifted the Lombardi.
We're world champs, brother. World champs.
He's earned the gold jacket.
Tony Dungy, he said to us, our job is to win championships here in Tampa. But if that's all we do, we will not have done enough.
Now he's laser focused on a championship for the faithful.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
CMC, enter the dragon, baby!
Here's the 49ers president of football operations and general manager, John Lynch, with Murph Markus on the Sports Leader.
All right, Thursday at this time, but on a Monday night week, a Friday at this time, we talk to John Lynch, who's sponsored by River Islands. Come home to River Islands in Lathrop and discover the San Joaquin River lifestyle with its lakes, parks, and schools. Start your tour today at riverislands.com. John is also sponsored by Friedman's Appliance, proudly serving all of Northern California with a wide selection of luxury appliances. Visit them in Pleasant Hill, quite a showroom, to see the Friedman's difference. And John, we are happy to welcome you. We're saying aloha. I know we've done this before, where we say we are in Hawaii, you're back on the mainland. We do this every year with our listeners. So we are coming home, though, to watch some 49er football on Monday night. But right now we're in Hawaii. So aloha, John.
Aloha, John.
Aloha, fellas, and I'm just envisioning. I've spent a lot of time at that resort, and it's one of my favorite places on earth. Our kids kind of grown up on that beach, and I love it there. Absolutely love it. So I'm jealous, but we're having fun here as well.
I know it's kind of hard to, when you guys are in the grind, you guys are getting ready for football. It's kind of hard to put your mind on Mauna Kea Beach, but you're right. It's extraordinary to be down there on that sand and luxuriating in that Pacific. But that's for the off season. You guys are hard at work here, John. And I know it was a while ago because we're talking to you on a Friday, but just a little reflection before we get going on this Monday night. And a little big game, too. We haven't talked to you since the game in Arizona and Brock Purdy's return. So what was the John Lynch evaluation? Were you nervous? Was there a little – I wouldn't say nervous. Maybe were you a little apprehensive going in to see how he would respond?
I got a lot of confidence in Brock. I think we all do. And he just handles himself so well. And from the very first time he set foot on our practice field, he's done that. So he kind of puts confidence into our team. And so excited for him. I wouldn't say nervous. And then any nervousness I think we had that when Sky Moore took that opening kickoff and looked like he was going to score, went 99 yards. That was pretty awesome, and it got us off to a really good start. And I felt like our guys came ready, and Brock but the entire team. I felt like we came ready to play, and I was proud of our effort.
From a health perspective, John, did you guys feel like Brock looked like he was 100% out there? Did you see the pocket mobility that we've seen previous, or what was your breakdown of how he looked and how he's recovered throughout the week?
Yeah, he looked healthy. He didn't use his legs as much as we've seen in the past, but that was kind of what the game called for. So I know he felt healthy. I thought he looked healthy, and it was a really good game. There's always going to be kind of an acclimation period to getting yourself back going when you've taken an extended layoff, albeit from injury or first game of the season. And I think there was some of that, but for the most part, great game to go kind of get his legs underneath him, get his confidence back, and get his rhythm really. And I felt like he was able to accomplish all of that.
Yeah, man, Brock Purdy back in action. The team scores 41 points. It was pretty darn cool. Obviously, then, tough stuff happens. Injuries come at you guys. And, man, one of everybody's favorite 49ers, Eddie Pinheiro. He goes down with a hamstring. That's too bad. Not after, by the way, engaging the Cardinals on the sideline.
Again.
The old Red 47, John Lynch, must like that part of Eddie P., huh? He likes to engage, huh?
Yeah. I just, I would counsel Eddie, don't mess with Calais Campbell. That's a big human being, and I think that's who he was talking trash to for whatever reason. But Eddie Money, as we call him, he's been money. He really has, and bummer to see him get, he got a strain in his hamstring, and so we're going to give him the time he needs to get healthy. But he came through in a big way for us again. And he's been outstanding for us.
John, what can you tell us about the decision to go with Matt Gay?
We had a good process, brought a lot of guys in. We played against Matt a lot when he was with the Rams. He went off to Indy, has been at Washington. He's been a good kicker throughout his career. And a lot of it, you bring these guys in, you obviously study their history. But both our special teams coaches, Matt, Brant Boyer and Colt Anderson and Ronnie Blair, they were big fans of Matt. We had been, we studied him as we got Mitch Wishnowski. They were both at Utah together. So we've kind of been around him a lot, played against him in our division. He's been a really good kicker in his career. Had some struggles in Washington, but, we talked to the folks there and, whose opinion we trust, and they kind of did it reluctantly, let them go. So we were happy to get him. And, obviously it'd be ideal to keep Eddie and keep him going, but that happens and we got to get him well. And we were, it's a, nice opportunity that a guy like Matt Gay, as accomplished as he has been throughout his career, was available.
Wow, so you continue to talk to these, you build on these relationships around the league, and Brian Robinson came from Washington too, and I know your buddies are there, Adam Peters and the crew. So you even gave them a personal call on the side about Matt Gay too. Said, give me the lowdown.
We did throughout the special teams coaches. That kind of those guys. That's a tight unit. That's a tough job being a special teams coach, and those guys are extremely tight. So Larry Izzo is a guy there, and Boyer and all those guys have relationships. So you always leverage those relationships to find out a little bit about the situation, what went down. And so, yeah, you're always doing that.
He's one more on Gay, and then the knock would be that he's had trouble from long distance. Do you see that? I mean, just kind of anticipating. I know you can't predict or anything, but would affect the way Kyle calls the game, perhaps, that Gay's not really right now comfortable from sort of 50, 55 plus, and Eddie was making those, so maybe you call the game differently. Go ahead. Yeah.
I don't think Kyle will do that. I think, obviously Eddie's earned a lot of confidence, from Kyle, and he's delivered from everywhere. So that obviously affects, and I think there'll be a little bit of a feeling out period. But Kyle Kyle's a guy who throws people out there, and he'll be mindful and thoughtful. And hopefully a clean slate, we can wipe that clean. He certainly has the talent and the leg. Usually if a guy's struggling from that distance, you say, does he not have the leg? That couldn't be further from the truth. So I think some things that, a clean slate hopefully can free his mind and let him know we have a ton of confidence. Otherwise we wouldn't have picked him. We had a lot of kickers to choose from, and he won out. So that means we think highly of him, and Kyle should go call the game as he sees fit.
John, defensively, we saw Robert Sully's defense get 3 turnovers this weekend, 2 interceptions, and Upton Stout with the strip down at the goal line as well. We've talked about the turnovers numbers and trying to increase them. Is that something that you guys feel like that you can kind of affect with scheme and play calling, or is it just something where maybe it's just a case of good luck, bad luck of when you do get these interceptions?
No, I think you cause your luck, Marcus. I think flying to the football, having your eyes on your quarterback in zone coverage, putting quarterbacks under duress, all of those things. And nowadays, different than when I played. When I played, it was always the first guy there. You secure the tackle, then the second and third guys come and rip at the ball. Nowadays, the ball is of such a premium that you see people like Fred Warner. Now, Fred does it better than anybody because he secures the tackle and does that little peanut punch. But people have gotten so proficient at that technique, that they don't even teach secure the tackle. They just get the ball. And so our guys did a great job getting the ball the other day to get 3 turnovers, then to protect the ball the way we did. That's the way you put 40 points up on the board. They say about turnovers, they come in bunches, and we need to keep that going. And, I think, defensively, was it a dominant effort? Far from it. I think what was dominant was the turnovers. I do think there's some encouraging things, and to my eye, we just have to put it all together. I watched a team last night, D'Amico Ryans coaching that Houston defense, and obviously there's a lot of talent on that front, but the one thing that I saw is they're playing together. Their time clock, I've been there before. where the back end can play very aggressively because they know that quarterback doesn't have long. And so their whole defense is working together. They're playing with incredible effort, and the whole thing is working together. They're playing as one. And I think we just have to do a little bit more of that. Saleh's putting us in really good positions. We came out with a win, and that's what's most important. We do know we'll have to continue to improve. And are we going to be the defense we could have been with Bosa and Fred? Probably not. Those guys are difference makers. But can we still be really good and find a way to get a little better each week? I believe we can, and I believe we will because we're well coached and our guys have a lot of character.
John Lynch on the Yuma Guest Line getting ready for the 49ers and the Panthers on Monday night, talking about Brock Purdy, talking about the defense, 3 turnovers, but the stat that is just haunting fans and is the sacks. 12 sacks, 32nd in the league. On pace to be probably the 49ers' worst sack total, I believe, since they started keeping the stats. So, John, what do you guys do? What can you and Kyle and Robert Saleh do to sack the quarterback?
We just got to continue to put ourselves in situations and then finish them. You go back and watch that game, and I was a little bothered as the game was going on. You throw it 57 times, and we're not able to bring him down. And first of all, I would say Brissett played a really good game within the pocket. The other thing I would say, probably the more important thing than sacks are a byproduct. Are you around the quarterback? Are you pressuring him? And I thought we did pressure him. When you go back and watch the film, sometimes you're surprised, and we were. Our guys, rushed well. Now we got to do it a little better collectively, and we got it's tying rush and coverage together. So we just need to tighten up our details, and I believe they'll start to come. And I think I'll continue to believe that because I see the effort going on, and we'll talk about that at the end of the season if that hasn't changed. But I'd be surprised if it doesn't. The way we were around the quarterback, now we just got to bring him down.
John, we got to see Nick Martin get some snaps at linebacker for the first time this season. We were spitballing with Matt Mayoka earlier this week about maybe trying to get him more involved or maybe getting some more opportunities. Has the thought of maybe kicking him around on the outside and using his athleticism to get to the quarterback been mentioned or something that you guys have discussed for maybe a role for him moving forward?
Well, we obviously, we had a nice vision for Nick coming in here because when you draft a guy that high, the third round is a valuable pick. You see a lot that you like, and there's a lot that goes into playing linebacker in our scheme. It was nice to see Nick get out there. I think he played 13, 14 snaps, and he was highly productive. He did a really good job. I think one play he had a little bit of a mental bust, but to see him out there tackling in space, you can see his athleticism. That's not easy to do. Those space tackles, it's really tough in our league, and to see him go out, I think it gives confidence to him, and we can now continue to utilize his skills, and he'll take some lumps, but hopefully, the way you learn in this league is to have something like, it was Trey McBride cut a corner route behind him and his drop. That's tough to see, but now he knows, and he can go back, study the film. Johnny Holland and that group will do a great job teaching him, and he'll be better the next time around, and that's how you learn. But Nick's a really talented kid who we really have a lot of love for, and it'd be nice to continue to put him out there and see him grow.
Is it fair to say, though, big picture, John, that you guys, and this is something George Kittle has even said after games, you're just going to have to outscore teams? I mean, obviously outscoring teams, but I mean high-scoring games. Your offense is going to have to score more points than as expected because of the transitory nature of your defense and the injuries that have racked your defense. Is it fair to say that your offense is going to have to carry the extra load?
I think our offense is going to be really good, but we got to win games, whatever means necessary. And I think right now you're seeing our special teams contribute in a lot of ways. We got the number 1 kickoff return team in football right now, which is really exciting. Not only Sky Moore, but Brian Robinson and then all the guys. And, the cool thing, I've been a part of it before, when you have a dynamic return game, everybody starts blocking a little harder, knowing that their block could be the one that could spring us. And so that's been fun. Morstead's done a nice job controlling the punt game. So our special teams are contributing. Our offense continues to get healthy. We got Ricky Pearsall back out there last week, and it wasn't, the production didn't show, but it was good for Ricky just to get back out there, get his legs underneath him. Ricky does provide a different element, as we've talked about. I believe that really opens our offense back. We're kind of rounded into shape on offense, and so yeah, we expect to put a lot of points on the board, but we're trying to win whatever means necessary. And we have a good team coming in here in Carolina. It's I think people hear that and they say, well, this is the Carolina Panthers, but this is a team who's won 5 of 7, I believe. They're hot. They just had a big win against Atlanta. They're feeling themselves a little bit. And we're going to have to play well to come up with a much-needed win on Monday Night Football in front of our home crowd.
John, I'm glad you brought up Ricky Pearsall because that was actually going to be my next question. I'm with you. I thought he ran some good routes and got some really good releases off the line of scrimmage this past Sunday. So do you guys feel like he can make an impact on the game maybe when he's not even making a big impact on the box score, especially when it comes to maybe more explosive plays in this Kyle Shanahan scheme?
I do. I think when you have a guy like Ricky who's a threat as a route runner, is a threat downfield, as he showed earlier this season, and is just a playmaker. I think there's extra attention that goes that way, and sometimes it's just he's on the presence of mind. I've played safety, and you're leaning that way a little bit because your coach all week's been talking about, hey, this Pearsall guy, he can get down the field, and that's your job as a DB. And so I do think it can open things up, and that's what you want to do. You want to put them in a bind. All right, who do we cover right here? Do we cover Kittle? Do we give extra attention to McCaffrey? Or shoot, Ricky's there and Jawan's over here. They'll throw to Juice as well. That's what you want to do to people, and I think that's what Kyle's offense does to people, but then our talent also lends to being able to do that. And the more guys we have out there, but that's why we drafted Ricky as high as we did, and I do think he has an effect on each game that he plays, and I think he'll be even better this week with another week of practice under his belt.
It's going to be fun to watch this offense with Brock Purdy and the whole crew do their thing. The question is, how will the defense perform in terms of sacking the quarterbacks? I mean, I was looking – you mentioned the game last night, John. D'Amico Ryans, they had 8 sacks last night. I mean, that's like – there's a part of you're just biting your fist like, because you just said you got a little frustrated, right? So seeing that many sacks from a D'Amico Ryans can just borrow a few of those.
Yeah, and hopefully you can draw inspiration because you see that's like a contagious thing. It's like turnovers that once you start getting the quarterback down, you can see it. It was a buzzsaw. Your fans can help with that because you get off a little quicker on the ball than their offensive tackles and offensive guards and offensive line can. And so that's what we hope to have here at Levi's and on Monday night. And, hopefully we're putting that quarterback in a blender like Josh Allen. He's a fantastic player, but he was running for his life last night. And D'Amico's got those guys playing.
John, Monday night will be the first time that Christian McCaffrey is squaring off against the Carolina Panthers since the trade happened 3 years ago. And I know a couple weeks ago we reflected on that trade, but now that I think about it, is the biggest benefit of trading for Christian McCaffrey the fact that now you guys can carpool to the big game together on Saturday?
That's pretty good. You know what? I'll be at the big game. I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun. We got to give him the axe, and Cal's playing well. So, and I think Frank Reich and Andrew and they're doing a great job over there. But we got a ways to go. But who knows in the big game? Everybody, it's always a fun atmosphere, and should be so this weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
What's your best big game memory?
You know what, I remember Denny Green when he took us. I was part of his first recruiting class, and Denny was big about letting us know that Stanford football, although it had been down before he took the job, had a great tradition. And, one of the traditions he remembered was that, instead of entering the field the traditional way when we were at Cal, let's go right down through their student section, And I remember I was a true freshman, and Denny sent us down, and we were getting stuff thrown at us, but it was pretty cool walking right down because the locker room had an access point on the field, but you also could go outside another door right through the student section. And so we did that. I've got a lot of great memories, but I think the best memory is I never lost to Cal in my time there, and that's pretty cool.
That is a good one. By the way, we talked to Ron Rivera, the color red, they have their whole chant, take off that red shirt, and he told the story about Joe Cap taking out a knife and cutting off a guy's red tie at a luncheon they were at. Do you feel that way? Do you feel that way about blue and gold when you see it? If I was wearing a blue and gold striped tie, would you cut it off?
You know what? I've probably softened because you're forced to in the Bay Area. You're going to be around a lot of Cal people, and I used to just have like a disdain when I was young. Like anyone from Cal they were awful. Now there's actually some pretty cool people. Jake Tonjes being one of them, a local kid, and a lot of good people. But it's more fun, and it is a fun rivalry, and you know. That kind of stuff, it reminds you of what college football used to be, and should be a fun atmosphere out at the farm this weekend.
What was Bill Walsh's approach to the rivalry in the big game, John?
Man, Bill was I watched the coolest transformation with Bill Walsh, because I think when he took that job, he said it. Stanford was his bliss. It's the most fun he had ever had coaching football. And I remember Keena Turner, who works down the hall from me and is one of my favorite people in life, so much wisdom. Keena was put on Bill's coaching staff, as was Billy Ring, Mike Wilson. I'm probably missing some, but players that coached for Bill. So there was this loyalty to Bill, but none of those guys had ever coached. Tom Homo was my coach, and a fantastic coach, but that's where he got his start. But I remember saying to Keena early, Bill was having so much fun I was like, man, this guy's awesome. He's so nice. And Keena looked at me like, that's not how we thought of Bill at the Niners. Like, not nice. He was ruthless. He was cutthroat. And we started to see that because we were a pretty good team that year. And I don't think Bill fully realized how good we were. It was a great recruiting class, my recruiting class. We went out, got added to it with guys like Glenn Milburn, and we were set up to have some success, but I don't think Bill had any idea how good we could be. And we started playing well. We went back, beat the number one team in the nation in Notre Dame. And all of a sudden, the thing that Keena and them, he wasn't so nice after a while. Bill was cutthroat. He was ruthless. He wanted perfection. And by the time at Cal, I remember, great rivalry. I want to gut these guys. I mean, that's the way Bill thought. And it was so fun to play for him. And, he enjoyed it a lot, I know that, but man, he was a competitor and he wanted things done in an exact way. And that stuck with me throughout the rest of my career, as well as his belief in me. I was going to go play baseball for the Florida Marlins because football really hadn't gone that well. I was a quarterback. I moved over to safety, and that kind of went all right my junior year, but I was going on to pursue baseball. And Bill Walsh comes in and says, "Hey, man, you can be a Pro Bowl safety. I'm telling you the truth." And I kind of believed them, and it took off for me. So those are my memories of Bill.
That's awesome. Great stuff there, John. And one last follow-up question on Bill, because we were talking earlier, reflecting on the Christian McCaffrey trade, and we were talking about Bill going out and being aggressive and making some trades. Would you say that even his influence has leaked on throughout your career to you now as a GM and your aggressiveness where it does come to making these type of trades for going out and trading for a player like Christian McCaffrey?
I hope so, and that is something, you're always looking at. There's a great roadmap because they've been very successful. They've won a lot of Lombardis. You walk by them each and every day, and you do study those things, and Bill was always aggressive. I've been thinking a lot about Bill and that team. I just saw Roger Craig, semifinalist, for the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a senior veteran or whatever they call that. And man, Roger Craig was a fantastic player. He's got so many parallels to his game that Christian has in his game. Both, Christian's on pace right now for 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving. Roger Craig did that back in the day when that was unheard of. And he was Ronnie Lott said it this week. He changed the game, and let's put that guy in Canton because he deserves it. And I hear stories from Keena, and then before Jerry Rice running 100 yards, it was Roger Craig who kind of brought that here, and that type of mindset and work ethic, and the play on the field spoke for itself. So kind of rambling, but there's a lot of that stuff's been going through my mind here in the last couple of weeks, and that's always good when you're thinking of people like that.
Awesome. Love talking football with you, whether it's Niners, big game, you name it. So we appreciate all the time, John. Go enjoy the big game Saturday. Go enjoy the big game Monday. And we all have Thanksgiving off next week. So happy Thanksgiving to the Lynches. And we will talk to you after the holiday. So have a great holiday.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Aloha. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. A lot to be grateful for, and we're grateful for the faithful. And let's hear you loud and clear Monday night. Going to be a fun environment.